The UN's nuclear watchdog says a drone attack on Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia power plant did not compromise safety, but it again warned of the danger of attacking nuclear facilities. Ukraine has denied Russian accusations that it carried out the strike on Europe's biggest nuclear power plant. Russia seized control of the facility in the first weeks of its invasion in 2022. Kyiv and Moscow have repeatedly blamed each other for attacks on the plant. We can go straight to DW correspondent Nick Connolly in Kyiv. Nick, Russia and Ukraine blaming each other for the attacks. It's something we've seen time and again. Any indications on who was really behind this attack?
So the IAEA, that UN body you just mentioned, have merely confirmed that these drone attacks happened. They saw the after effects without actually seeing them happening in real time. They are based on the site, but they're basically not free to move around. They have to ask permission from the Russian occupying forces there at the power plant to be able to move around. In the past, we've definitely seen long delays between things allegedly happening and those inspectors being able to access the impact site. As we have heard from the media here in Ukraine, but also from Russian media, there was supposedly damage to a canteen and to a truck bringing food to the site, as well as one hit on the dome of one of the reactors. So it is very, very close to home, but I think it's very important in all this to remember that Russia has made this Europe's biggest and one of the world's biggest nuclear power stations a military site. There are troops based there, there's military equipment even within the power plant. You have pictures online of Russian soldiers basically hanging out inside the power plant, and that is obviously a very dangerous situation where you've had Ukraine and also the wider world asking the Russian occupying forces to demilitarize that zone, to get out and to basically move the military infrastructure hardware further away to avoid any kind of misunderstanding, but that still hasn't happened 2 years on.
Mm-hmm. How dangerous are these attacks? Because the power plant is, of course, protected to some extent. Can you give us a sense of the security situation at and around the plant?
I mean, by all standards, this is a mad situation to be in, this huge power plant, and you have regular artillery fire pretty close by. You have a Ukrainian-held town opposite on the other side of the river that is constantly under artillery attack, which, when you go to, the people will say that the artillery attacks coming from the Russian forces near the power plant, basically hiding behind the power plant because they know that the Ukrainians can't reply with fire anywhere near that power plant. Importantly, though, the power plant is not operating right now. Those reactors have been shut down, but there's still obviously radiation there. There is nuclear fuel there that needs to be cooled. When you talk to the experts, they actually say that a direct hit is something that these power plants were built for during the Cold War period, and that actually the bigger issue is a lack of power to cool that nuclear fuel. So we repeatedly see power facilities being destroyed as part of the kind of artillery fire, and then the kind of emergency generators having to kind of jump in to provide that cooling, and often they have diesel supplies just for a matter of days. So I think if you look at the wide situation, this is a power plant that is very close to the city of Zaporizhzhia, the Ukrainian-held city, which is of almost 1 million people, the kind of agglomeration, and this is a very kind of danger point that doesn't go away. And also, where you have a real sense that the Russians are very aware of the fears that these kinds of incidents raise in Europe, and that they, are not unhappy about that kind of concern spreading from there. There's obviously a sense here in Ukraine that this could be a Russian provocation. We can't tell, we can't fact check, but this is a situation that doesn't go away and that so far the international community hasn't found a solution for.
DW's Nick Connolly, thank you. Always great speaking to you.